Depression isn't real. If you feel sad, go do some push-ups. Sorry if I scared you. I didn't want to come on the stage and scream. But does this sound familiar to anyone? To most millennials in the crowd, you may not recognize this quote, but if you're from my generation, you probably found the correlation between what I just said and Andrew Tate. The man, the myth, the marketing strategy. If you don't know who it is, it's just a random bald guy who, believe it or not, impacted an absurd amount of people from our generation. And although I'm joking about him now since he's faded from relevance and is no longer as famous as he once was, there was a time when Andrew Tate was everywhere, and he was arguably the most viral figure on social media. Tate thrived on controversy, making claims like vaping is for weak men, but he insisted that smoking cigars was perfectly acceptable. His content often promoted toxic masculinity and targeted teenagers across whatever platforms his videos reached. Tate's offensive views made him hated by many, but admired by young men who saw him as a symbol for real masculinity. But at the end of the day, Tate spread hate and toxicity. Why? Well, to get hits online, because the harsh reality is that extremist opinions on social media are the ones that get the most attention. So, Andrew Tate got millions of views and followers, haters and admirers, and managed to influence hundreds of thousands of teenagers globally. And it may not seem like a big deal, but it really brings up the question, why do so many people fall for this? That's what I'm here to talk about, because I think the answer says a lot about us, about the way we think, and about the way social media has completely rewired our brains. So, let's start with the obvious. Social media is addictive. We all know it. Every month, your mom sends you a new article about how bad social media is for you, but you ignore it, you call it a bad habit, and you think it's just bad for you, like eating too much sugar. God knows I do. The truth, it's engineered to keep us hooked. And I'll admit it, I'm addicted to social media. I can open TikTok for just a minute, and the next thing I know, an hour has gone by, and I don't even know how. But I spend time on my phone looking at a funny video or seeing what my friends on the other end of the world are up to. And although I am addicted, it's a separate matter, because I'm addicted to my phone. The real danger is being addicted to social media. When people start living inside their screens. When people's worth depends on numbers, when people's looks depend on filters, and their thoughts on whatever trend has been going on that month. That's when it gets scary, because it all looks real, but it's not. Take my friend Joey. Joey's 16, he works out every day, but he never thought he was strong enough. He'd scroll through endless videos of shredded guys with perfect lighting and edited pictures, and he knew they were edited, or the guys on the pictures were on steroids, but that didn't stop him from comparing himself to them. You would ask, Joey, this is all fake. Why, you're super strong. And he would say, yeah, I know. And then you would ask him, well, why do you fall for it? And he would always say, I don't know. He obsessed over getting bigger and bigger and bigger and eating more and training harder, chasing a body that doesn't exist naturally. These two photos are of the same exact guy. Unreal difference. Imagine seeing this over and over and over again on your feed. This messed with Joey. Bad. And this isn't just a Joey problem, but young girls too. Since the 1990s, anorexia rates have jumped by almost 50%, from 39 cases per 100,000 to 60 cases per 100,000. Studies show that adolescents who spend 3 hours or more on social media every day are twice as likely to struggle with body image issues. This is the illusion at hand, trying to convince healthy people that they're not good enough. There's a famous case study from Fiji in the 1990s, and over there, before TV, there were no eating disorders, and beauty consisted of being healthy and well-fed. But then, Western shows like Beverly Hills 90210 arrived, and teenage girls started starving themselves to look like the actresses they saw on TV. In just a few years, a culture's whole idea of beauty flipped, all because of what they saw on a screen. Imagine this now, endlessly scrolling through videos of skinny girls who look just like you. It's 1,000 times worse. So, what's the solution for every teenager that struggles with this? Deleting every app and pretending the world doesn't exist, or throwing your phone away and acting like we live in the 50s? No. The answer isn't running away, it's trying to see through it, to look beyond the scroll. And the good thing is, that's exactly what Joey did. Now, all these body ideals, they're just one of many social media lies. So let's talk about the rest. Let's talk about Andrew Tate again. Tate doesn't just share opinions, he shapes behavior. By promoting rigid rules about masculinity, toughness, and dominance, he encourages his followers to act, speak, and even think like him. It's not about personal growth or critical thinking, but about performing an identity that he prescribes. His followers adopt his habits, mirror his actions, and set themselves by standards that he sets. This guy is in jail now for sex trafficking, so great role model. And the thing is that Tate isn't unique in this strategy. Misha Petrov, a radical feminist influencer, uses the exact same playbook, but from the other side. Where Tate says that women are inferior, she says that men are completely useless. They both push extremes because extremes go viral. And that's the genius and the danger of it. These campaigns work because they're easy to digest and practically impossible to ignore. They hit emotions first and logic second, and they give people a clear enemy and a clear victim. And suddenly, every follower feels like they're part of a story that's bigger than themselves. And that's when nuance disappears. Real conversations about gender, power, or society don't fit into a 15-second clip or trending tweet. And this doesn't just happen with Tate and Petrov, but influencers in general who promote certain ideologies, simplifying complex issues into catchy sound bites that spread faster than the truth. Influencers from social media. And it gets worse. These videos often mix in half-truths, conspiracy theories, and real-world events or conflicts that are presented with no nuance and have a heavy dose of bias. And before you know it, you're not questioning the mainstream narrative anymore. You're simply rejecting any single piece of information that doesn't come from your echo chamber. And that's exactly how political extremism grows online. We've seen this over and over again. On the right, young people pulled towards hyper-masculine, anti-feminist content that end up being fed conspiracy theories about politics, culture, and even violence. And on the left, young people exposed to extreme social injustice clips that can end up rejecting any opposing viewpoint as immoral or dangerous, even if it's reasonable. What's the result? You get entire online communities of kids who can't even vote yet, already labeling themselves as radical left-wing or far-right extremists. And they're not forming these beliefs after careful thought. They're forming them because that's what their feed told them was true. And let's be real, social media loves this. Because well-balanced, reasoned content doesn't get clicks. Outrage does. Fear does. Tribalism does. And the more extreme you get, the more loyal you feel to your side. It's all a perfect storm. Algorithms feed you what keeps you hooked. Content that preys on insecurities and emotions. and a social environment where changing your mind feels like betrayal. So, we've talked about the illusions, the extremes, the trends, the politics, but it still leaves the big question. Why on earth do so many people fall for this? Well, it comes down to three things. The first one is insecurity. Social media thrives on it. It makes Joey, one of the strongest people I know, feel weak. And it makes teenage girls with perfectly healthy bodies think they need to starve themselves. When you're insecure, you're searching for answers. And social media gives you instant ones. Do this, look like this, think like this, and you'll be happy. But you won't. Second is validation. We are addicted to approval. Every like, comment, and follow you get tells your brain, people agree with me, people like me. So, if you post a Tate-inspired clip and it gets more likes than anything you've ever posted before, guess what? You're gonna post more of it. Not because you've thought deeply about what it is that you're putting on the internet, but because it's been approved. And it's not just creators, it's viewers too. When you find an influencer who says exactly what you've been thinking, you feel validated. You're like, finally, someone gets it. And suddenly, you're a loyal follower. And third is convenience. Here's the brutal truth. Critical thinking is hard. Real research is hard. And it's way easier to let a guy you trust, some confident dude with sunglasses or a girl with perfect lighting tell you what to believe. They package complex issues into 30-second clips with clear villains and heroes. No nuance, no complexity, just a story you can repeat and feel smart for knowing. So, when you put these three together, you get a perfect trap. You're insecure, so you're looking for answers. You get validation when someone confirms your feelings, and because it's convenient, you never stop to challenge it. This is why it's not just the gullible who fall for this. It's the skeptical, it's the smart, it's the self-aware. So, now we know why people fall for things on social media. We know it's not because they're lazy or stupid or hopeless. It's because the system is literally designed to make us fail. But here's the thing. Just because the game is rigged doesn't mean you have to lose. The first step is awareness. Once you know how this works, hopefully I've taught you, how algorithms target insecurities and how dopamine rewards your scrolling and how easy answers keep you hooked, it gets harder and harder for them to manipulate you. It's not impossible, but it's harder. The second step is questioning. The next time you see something online, think to yourself, who benefits if I believe this? Do I want this to be true, or is it actually true? And what would someone who disagrees say about it? And third, balance. Social media doesn't have to be the villain in your life. You can use it for entertainment, for learning, for connecting. But the second it starts shaping your beliefs, the second it starts replacing life, that's when you're cooked. I'll admit it. I still fall for stuff. I still scroll longer than I should. But I've been taught that what I see online is rarely the full story, and this lesson has probably saved me from more bad ideas than I can count. And that's what I want from everyone here. Because at the end of the day, the question I asked at the beginning, why does everyone fall for what they see on social media, has this very simple answer. We fall for it because it's easy. We keep falling for it because we never stop to think. So my challenge to you is, be the person who stops to think. Be the person who questions, who checks, who resists the easy answer. And if you can do that, even some of the time, you're already way ahead of the algorithm. Thank you.